All right, welcome back to our special live coverage of the White House Correspondents' Dinner, also known as Nerd Prom.
Yes.
That's what they call it. Here in Washington, D.C., Poppy Harlow, John Berman, it is good to be with you.
Great to have you back.
There is a lot going on tonight. You're seeing the celebrities, the journalists, all walk down the red carpet before this dinner begins. Tonight is about the First Amendment. It is about journalism, and the president notably is not there. He is in another Washington, Michigan, getting ready to hold a big rally. You'll hear some of that in just a moment. Let's go to our Kate Bennett. She is on the red carpet with, look at him looking dapper, and Kate looking gorgeous, Don Lemon. Hi, friends.
Hello. We have definitely got a non-nerd here, breaking the rules of Nerd Prom. So what's it like being here this year in this era, the second, Trump White House Correspondents' Dinner?
It's actually very interesting, Kate. Last year, there weren't many representatives of the White House here. Of course, the president wasn't here last year. He's not here this year. All weekend, I've been running into people from the White House. I ran into Kellyanne Conway like 4 times. She was just around here. I ran into Sean Spicer, a couple times today. And it's weird just like seeing them out and about with the media, because you know what they say about CNN, supposedly we're fake news. But
we only got turned down a couple times. I won't say by whom on the coverage. Got turned down a couple times. I won't say by whom.
Oh, well.
So this is a very pop culture time, though. People are talking about Kanye West. They're talking about the president. Like, what's happening, do you think, out there in the world?
I've gotten a lot of questions about, here on the red carpet and just people in general, about Kanye West. And I've said the same thing. Tonight is about the free press, about freedom of speech. Kanye West is free to speak his mind and say whatever he wants. But when you do that, you should realize the power of your words and the power of your platform, and you should actually know what you're talking about. And if you're going to support something, or if you are supporting something that's detrimental to your own culture as a person of color, or for me as a person of color who happens to be gay. So that's it.
Excellent point.
Yeah.
And then just in general, this is sort of a night when Washington takes a weird break, right, from sort of all the wonkiness, all the interviews, all the animosity anyway. Do you think it feels normal, or does it feel sort of like uncomfortable? What's the vibe tonight?
It's a little weird because I'll tell you, go to my Instagram, Don Lemon CNN. So last night I'm at a party, Kellyanne Conway walks in. And I said, oh my gosh, what's Kellyanne going to say? Is she going to, 'cause she was walking right past me. She gives me a big hug. And then as I'm talking to her, Michael Avenatti, Stormy Daniels' attorney, walks right over, and I witnessed them meeting for the very first time, and someone captures it with a camera. It's amazing. You have to have a sense of humor. We all live in this world. We're all Americans, and so we have to work together. We have differences, but we have to come together and be able to talk and live together. So I think it's great.
It's a good night for that.
Poppy, John, this is my old gig. Remember, Pops? We used to hang out and do this. All right. I love doing this.
Except now you're the celebrity walking the red carpet, and I'm stuck here with Berman for 5 hours.
No, Poppy, can I show you someone? Tim, come here.
Yes.
This is my boyfriend, and we're Poppy and Sanisha, her husband.
Him.
We're all friends.
Hey, how are you, Poppy?
Hi, Tim. They came
Tim.
all the way from Harlem to Brooklyn last week to meet the baby, and Don remarked at how far it was to get there. But thank you for coming.
Amazingly, not complaining about being at the party tonight.
Right, exactly.
The White House Correspondents' Dinner brought to you by Don Lemon and Don Lemon's Instagram. Don, thank you.
John Berman, I loved you in the Boston Marathon. You were awesome.
Oh, amazing.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Bye, Poppy. I love you.
Bye.
That's the reason I'm
Thanks,
still sitting down. All right, Kate, Don, we really appreciate it. Paris Denard, to you, one of the things we've seen there, and Don Lemon was talking about it, was unlike last year, there are a lot of White House staff and President Trump supporters there, current and former staff and supporters there. Why now? Why do you think they decided to break the seal and be part of this?
President Trump encouraged them to do so. Look, let's not gloss over this and act like the press or the media is overtly friendly or kind in headlines or reporting of President Trump or the White House or the people that work for him, especially the first year. And so there was a significant amount of animosity. There was a significant amount of tension. And so there was just a blanket, no one's going, I'm not going, no staff is going. They abided by it. This year, I think the ice has been thawed a little bit. I think the president has a lot more wins under his belt and a lot more things that they want to go and tout. So while people are here in Washington, D.C. celebrating the First Amendment, the president is in Washington, Michigan, celebrating freedom of assembly.
So, Rick, though, the words from the president as he fundraises off of not being there tonight is, why would I want to be stuck in a room with a bunch of fake news liberals who hate me? But I want my staff to be there.
Look, there's a certain amount of social desirability of for these folks. They've desperately wanted to get out of the playpen of the Trump White House and associate with other people and get some air for once in a while, because I imagine.
I mean, they go home at night.
Well, but they always have the tweet of Damocles hanging over their head at any given moment, where their lives can be upended by Donald Trump rage tweeting something, and you know, all of them that are there tonight, they're enjoying going out and getting dressed up and going out and associating with the reporters that they on paper despise so furiously. There's a big nod and a wink here to how much this is like professional wrestling for people like Kellyanne.
Right.
You know, she goes out on your air and everybody else's air and opens up this gigantic sewage pipe of lies. Goes here and it's all hugs and kisses. So, you know, it does pull back the curtain a little bit on some of their we hate the liberal media act.
Right.
So.
Joe Walsh.
They call it swampy. They say they're opposed to it because it's swampy, but then they're going to all come and try to rub elbows and try to make nice. So I find it kind of creepy. I am the skunk at the garden party. I've always found the whole thing a little bit swampy. To Laura, it's glorious for people to come together and celebrate journalism. I support that. But sometimes it got a little too cozy. So I was somebody thrilled by Stephen Colbert in 2005, taking it all on. But I think the thing is that presidents have come and they've listened and they've been roasted. I mean, Barack Obama had to have Larry Wilmore talk about drones as well as, you know, drop the N-word in his final year. Bill Clinton listened to whitewater jokes and other things from Don Imus that were terrible. George Bush listened to Stephen Colbert. This man is not there because he is too thin-skinned to sit through hours of
Let me just say, you say the skunk at the garden party. You have a fellow skunk with you tonight. I think Phil Mudd. Phil Mudd, you're watching this. I see you staring at all these people dressed up at this party, judging.
I'm honored to be a skunk.
All you're
That's
doing.
better than you, by the way. You got checks and stripes, which is a complete disaster. But go ahead.
No, you're judging. You were judging the people here tonight.
No, I wasn't. But look, referring to this as a swamp is courteous. This is a pain in the ass. I've been to this thing years ago. Let me give you some characteristics, seriously, to people who haven't been here. There's 3,000 people here. If you're not a VIP, let me give you a couple characteristics. Number one, it's a watered-down drink for a guy who likes a cocktail. Number two, not kidding, there's thousands. You cannot move. You've got like 2 inches to move. And number three, let me give you Washington, D.C. I completely agree. Every person you talk to, because we are all around this table low rent, looks at you and then looks over their shoulder and says, is there anybody else more important to talk to? That is what this dinner is.
Who are you calling low rent,
Except
Phil Mudd?
for Poppy.
Thank you very much.
Oh, my goodness.
Thank you very much.
I
And
never
that is
thought.
why Phil Mudd is with us.
Phil Mudd hating on a party. All right, guys, stick around. We have a lot more to talk about, obviously. We are going to talk to Anthony Scaramucci. Plus, the president now calling on a senator to resign over accusations against the president's failed VA nominee. Hear how that senator is now responding. That's next.
The best